Even today, I work a lot with young people, and my first question is, what's your primary identity? And their primary identity is normally their gender, or their caste, which comes first. In Gujarat, I don't know, anybody Gujarati here? Yeah. Here, very typically they say, what's your name? And very few people will say their name that I'm Gagan. What they will introduce themselves is Sethi Gagan Sirira. It means they will first talk of their surname, then their name in between, and then their father's name. So my identity is stuck between my caste and my father. So between caste and patriarchy, you are stuck there. How many of us will first say, I am an Indian? Which in the priority of our identity, development means of the human species means that you have several identities. I am lawyer, I am parent, I am a friend, I am a teacher. As I grow and develop, number of identities I have grows. So, I am on 18 organization boards, that's my identity. When I sit with them, that's my identity. So therefore, growth of identities is actually equal to development of a human species. The Indian identity, if I list them, when does your Indian identity come? With normal youth, it will maybe come or it will not be in the top 10. So, once again, congratulations to you that you bring this identity up front. But what does this identity mean? Wearing this identity is a responsibility which is immense. And therefore, you explored 1 year, and now you go as fellows with that identity. This identity has 3 words or 3 values, which is intrinsic to that word. And those 3 words, again, come from, if you look at it from historicity, come from the French Revolution and comes from our Constitution and comes from that point of 1947, the historic moment when you became, and your fathers and your mothers became Indians. Before that, they were Gujaratis, they were Maharashtrians, they were, I don't know, linguistic, different identity. 47, your parents got that identity, and you get that identity very technically because you were born there. But rationally thinking through and building that choice-based identity happens when you do this fellowship program. Because you can choose to go to the US. And thousands of young engineers and medical students went there. And remember, India invested in its first little money that when we became independent, very little money we had. And what was Nehru's vision? Let's invest in institutions of excellence. Why? Because that will produce young people who will then be Indians and will take on the challenge of what you're doing or discrimination. So, the IITs, the medical colleges, we have little money. 47 was little money. And at that stage, we had two choices. Either to invest in grassroots primary education or to invest in these higher levels of education which will act as force multipliers. So we didn't invest in primary education. We invested in IIT, in IIT, and he's a product of one of the Bagi institutions which was set up because IIM didn't deliver what they were supposed to deliver in their objective. Because 70% of the engineers said, I've learned through a subsidized process, free, and I say bye-bye to this country because there is a land of opportunities there, and I am first for myself and my country, and that identity nobody talks about. That you, again, I congratulate you, that you take these fellows across the country. It took me 12 years to visit every state and maybe every district of this country. 12, 14 years. But in the span of 1 year, you can go and visit 5 states, 6 states, go interior. It's identity building. It's your country. It's your people. It's your brothers and sisters. And you then interact and very unconsciously you start relating with them. This is what a fellow program, I'm assuming, would have done and is done. But the 3 words I come back to, which is critical to that citizenship, it's just not about what we're going to do on the 23rd of this month. These 3 words are, and Ambedkar just took those 3 words, he loved those 3 words, and he made them into a huge book. With those 3 words, what are they? Do you know? What are those 3 words? It's equality, liberty, and fraternity. Whole damn constitution is nothing but Ambedkar's love for those 3 words, and in different ways he has tried to see that that is ensured. The lawyers will expound on the constitution differently, but as a social scientist, to me, these are the 3 words which he was very much in love with. And therefore, when he was talking of democracy, he never talked of democracy, he always talked of social democracy. And I don't read here what he said. His definition it's a means, it means a way of life which recognizes liberty, equality and fraternity as the principles of life. These principles of liberty, equality and fraternity are not to be treated as separate items in a trinity. They form a union of trinity in the sense that to divorce one from the other is to defeat the very purpose of democracy. Without equality, liberty would produce the supremacy of the few over the many. Equality without liberty would kill individual initiative. Without fraternity, liberty and equality would not become a natural force of things. Whether it was what should happen to the scheduled caste, what should happen to the tribal, what should happen to this thing, he just juggled with these 3 words. It was as simple as that. Let me give you some statistics. So what today to me is the most worrying thing is not that there is still poverty. that we are still struggling with education. Nation building, I always say, is for every 10 years of normal human life, you give the nation 1 year. दशक को आप 1 साल गिनते हैं. तो अगर ऐसे देखें तो हम yes 7.5-year-old democracy. So yes, you're supposed to be struggling. I know you're impatient. I'm also impatient, but that's part of the desire to do things. But very technically, the Indian nation, 7-8 साल. So let's be patient with ourselves, and I think we've achieved a lot. But what is worrying is that, and I take these 3 words, we are actually increasing our inequality gap. On the inequality index, I sit on the board of Oxford, you must read that report, inequality. The last 5 years especially, 7 years especially, the inequality is increased. So from about 112 billionaires, you have now just 4 which are super billionaires, and the gap between the rich and the poor has increased. It's going to do things for this nation. It's going to therefore affect fraternity. And it has. And therefore, in the last 5 years, violence has increased. Whether it is caste violence, whether it is religious identity violence, it's increased. So fraternity is going for a 6. And nothing to say of liberty. Today, this organization trained Dalits, their FCRA was taken because they are talking what the government doesn't like. So your liberty today, you can't open your mouth without the fear of being put in jail. So you touch any one and the other two get affected. And therefore when I say these 3 words, how have you seen these 3 words in your 1 year? And they play with each other. And therefore creative efforts, innovations, if they are just innovations by themselves, have no meaning. So therefore, if you evaluate the programs that you visited, look at them from these 3 lenses. Have they promoted it? Have they promoted these 3 words? And if so, how? What are the innovations to promote these 3 words? It can be technology, it can be computers, it can be films. So, I'm not bothered about the method. But in the end, that these 3 methods are somewhere disturbing the present vortex where this is actually going worst. And I think, as fellows, I welcome you to this side of civil society. Challenging, but deeply fulfilling, deeply humbling, but deeply human process. I'm sure with the guidance that you've got of the faculty, the mentors, some of the mentors, you must have left an indelible mark in your journey. My mentors, I still remember them with a lot of love or affection, because you need that as a reservoir to continue. Because out there, it's sometimes very challenging, sometimes very depressing. That's the time you need those who gave you hope, who had faith in you, and who love you dearly, that you will go on. Once again, thank you for inviting me here. I really wish you all the very best. And I think as civil society, all of us look forward to you taking up leadership roles. And in whatever way we can be of assistance, it will be our duty. Thank you.